Hey there, everyone. Welcome to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes day by day. Excuse me, I'm getting used to being back to my old schedule where I actually slept a little bit at night. More on that complication, fun stuff in a little bit. I mentioned the free play show tonight was draft night in the NFL, and it didn't go exactly how I'd planned, but I made the best of it. I made a Discord, and my friends were able to jump in on Discord, and we were able to talk because they were in their house. I was in my house, and we watched the draft, and good time. Right now, a little warm in the house because we're in an awkward phase where it feels like spring, but it's the Midwest, and if you've ever lived in the Midwest, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But here in a little bit, I'll take a shower, then I'll be in bed. Hopefully, it'll cool down in there because hopefully my wife has the fan on, and yeah, didn't get to play this game nearly as much as I'm really to because life. I mentioned the soup, and it's not as overwhelming as it feels like it was a little bit ago because I think we've gained some much needed perspective on things. But that being said, it was the soup. And it just feels like we're trying to get our way out of the soup. And it feels like the soup just doesn't want to let us out of the soup. And it's more than a little frustrating. Because it's different kind of stress than we were dealing with a little bit ago in a lot of ways. But in a lot of ways also, it's the exact same. And that doesn't make sense. And I don't expect you to understand. But that's what it feels like. It feels like we are that things are not stacking up well. I mentioned that song pretty often, "Fears on My Future," and at the beginning of the song, the singer just says, "Let him turn it in your favor," and it's like we're wanting him to turn it in our favor, and maybe he is. I mean, that's the thing, but either he's not turning it, because we all want things our way. We all want to feel like we're in control. And that's why we do stupid stuff. Like at one point today, I just come in from taking the baby to the hospital and doing a bunch of stuff. And I came straight upstairs and I was like starting to do stuff. I'm always like, "Hey, I need you to come back down." And I'm like, "Why?" And she's like, "Because I'm taking off with the girl, and the counselor's here to see the boy, and I don't want him down here alone." And I'm like, "Are you crapping me? I'm just sit down. I need some time. I was just wrestling with this baby, figuratively, and I was just dealing with all his stuff because you asked me to, because you wanted to be able to get some stuff done. And so I literally just put him in bed. And then I've just come in here and sat down and begin to do stuff. And you're like, hey, you need to come back downstairs? It was like, I was exhausted. And because, I had to go to his primary physician to get blood drawn. And then we had to go to the actual hospital to get x-rays. And then the x-ray technician couldn't really understand what the doctor was wanting because he put lung bones on the x-ray orders. And they're like, what the heck is that? And so they had to call her up and ask her, hey, what do you mean by lung bones? And she had to just say, arms and legs. When she could have just put arms and legs on the orders. But that was a good, that added probably 15, 20 minutes of time, and you're like laughing at me. You're like, hey, bro, your videos are 15, 20 minutes. What are you talking about? Well, it's like, in the grand scheme of things, when it's like Star Wars is something we all enjoy. And I don't know about you, but unless you work at a hospital, do you love the hospital? Or, because I'm feeling like I don't really like the hospital. And even if I work there, I probably wouldn't, I don't know. But I don't think that I would love it. Like to be there, be like, oh, I have to be there and it's fine. But there's just something about going into a hospital and just having to be there that's just a touch unsettling. It bothers me just a little bit. And I don't want to have to be there necessarily any amount of time longer than I need to be there. And so this was just, I don't know, one of those type of situations. And this is a situation that could have been avoided, should have been avoided, but it just wasn't for whatever reason. And that's what made it so frustrating. But it's a good time. Good time was had by all. All right, what do we have left? Just what are we doing now? We're doing signal data now. We need to see where our levels are with signal data. We're at 156 here. We're at 194 here. We're at, we're up. We can take some up. I just don't know who. I'm not sure who to bring up first. I guess that's a pretty good problem to have. Not even who to bring up first. Do we get another Zeta by chance? I feel like we need one more. We're so close. So close to being able to go get Malik. Or not there yet. All right, so we're just keep pushing. I think we got a piece for Zam. But at least we don't have the problem with this account that we have with the free-to-play account. Because the free-to-play account, we're back in a position where we need to start saving again. Especially with the 4th coming up. In about 10 days or so. It's going to be, watch out. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. Anyway, had a good night watching the draft with my buddies. Even can't do it in person because they had to go, and it is what it is, I guess. But just keep pushing on as we always do. Anyway, if you wouldn't mind, like, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Otherwise, thank you for being here. God bless. Hold the line, and I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, bye.